They charged me with resisting arrest.
Get that confidence in jail.
I object.
Good morning, fellow patriots, and welcome back to another episode of Allegedly Bravo. I'm Cash.
And I'm Lauren. Hi.
Hello.
Let's pretend like we weren't just Skyping for 20 minutes before we pushed record.
I know we probably should have been recording this entire time. We're just doing some life updates.
Yeah, exactly.
And I will tell you, I am sitting in my bed right now. My window's open, so you may hear cars driving by. I'm not in my normal situation. I'm just being so lazy.
Listen, it's Sunday. We're doing this very last minute, and so what? You're in bed. Relax. You deserve it.
And you guys, I just have to point something out. Well, we're going to give some life updates. Lauren, do you want to let everyone know about your current health status?
Yes. So my current health status is #in recovery from COVID. I believe it was me who has been bragging for at least 2 years, maybe more, that I haven't gotten COVID, that I'm vaxxed and boosted and haven't gotten it. And after 2 years of anxiety about COVID, I fucking got it.
You sure did. And you sounded like death.
I did sound like death. And I got to say, I did have chest pain. I did throw up a couple times. But I've got my finger right here on this mute button, so no one will hear me cough. And God bless our poor Patreon subscribers.
Why?
Because I did, when you had the flood, I did the episode solo, but I was like in the peak of my COVIDness. So literally it sounds like I'm doing it from a hospital bed. I'm like, and like I'm like pausing every minute to like, so anyway, go listen on our Patreon.
Speaking of, you just said something that is, I think, probably triggering not only to me, but the listeners, the flood. You guys, life update. We were at a rental property. My fiance's rental property. I was up there just looking at wedding venues and got a phone call from one of the tenants letting us know that a pipe burst in the backyard. And I can't tell you the PTSD that I have
from the first flood
incurred as a result of the first flood.
I'm your unwell. Floor even dry from the first flood?
Well, you guys, and I actually have a theory.
Okay.
I think because I have had this like dry cough that has just been present for quite some time, and like a lot of post-nasal drip that's been happening. I think there's mold in this apartment.
Oh, Jesus.
I know. Dark. Sorry.
Oh, Jesus.
I know, but just dark.
Anyway, happy Sunday, everybody. We're dying of COVID and floods over here. It's just like, I think molds. They call this what? The Old Testament. That's the times we're living in.
Okay. Before we get started, just so everyone knows, we're not doing a housewife specific episode.
Correct.
We're doing our fun debriefing, just give everyone kind of a rundown of what's been going on in the legal world.
Yeah.
Some stuff really, I ventured beyond our reality stars. I'm doing something a little bit different with my top 3.
Interesting. I'm excited.
And I think we have Super Bowl specific, since today is the Super Bowl. We have, I think, 2 stories, right? About.
Oh, I don't have any.
I think you have one.
Oh.
About the performer, Snoopy.
Oh, I changed my mind. No, I didn't do Snoop Dogg. Yeah. So I have no Super Bowl things. I actually forgot it was the Super Bowl. So thank you for reminding me.
Well, speaking of that, I have a question for you and our listeners.
Yes.
Has anybody seen that our housewives and our housewife specific Instagram pages are now being, I guess, acquired by Peacock TV to post these ads on their Instagram pages about what they're eating for the Super Bowl?
What?
Kyle Richards did it, and it was so weird. She was like in a hotel room, and she was talking about the upcoming game. Room. It looked like a hotel room. There's no way that was her house.
Maybe she was at Heather Dubrow's house.
And she was just like, I'm getting ready for the game. Here are my snacks. And she threw, and the reason why I said it looked like a hotel was, one, the bed, and also the snack choice.
Okay.
They were like the little snacks that you have in the mini bar.
Yeah.
And I just find it very odd. Like, why are we trying to breach the housewife demographic? Like, we're all probably watching it because of our boyfriends, husbands, and just because it's really the only thing that's on TV. And we're aware that the game is on because our housewives are being disrupted as part of this. Like, we are not getting Salt Lake City.
Exactly. It's like, you know what? I forget who said it. Someone on Twitter, it literally killed me. It was like, I am so over this heterosexual agenda. Fuck you, Super Bowl. Give me my housewives.
Yeah. And it's like, if we're going to have a halftime show, make it the housewives. Like,
why isn't Erica Jane up there in a little unitard?
I don't even need a performance. Cut away to the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City.
You know what? Cut away. You know what I want to see? You want a real halftime show?
A reunion?
Bring me Allison Dubois.
You've been obsessed with her lately.
I am obsessed. I've always been obsessed with her, because growing up on Fridays, like my family and I used to always go get Golden Spoon Froyo because I used to work there. And then we'd come home.
They're gummy bears.
And we'd watch this show called, I think it was called Medium, and it was about Allison Dubois. And so I just I've grown up with her, and, I've taken to the electric cigarette, even though mine is mine's not tobacco, but anyway, so fuck the Super Bowl, fuck the heterosexual agenda. We want our wives back. We want, as we're heterosexuals. Yeah. Okay. I'm just going to
Don't worry. We'll probably get a negative podcast review for that.
No more. Oh, hey, everybody. Go to our reviews, give us 5 stars, and just shout out like how much fun you're having listening to us. If you have anything negative to say, keep it to yourself.
Well, and I don't think people realize how much the reviews help us in promoting and, getting on other podcasts and just growing. It's a huge deal, and we appreciate it. And it's so fun reading your guys' comments.
Yeah.
All of the good ones. We have had a few bad ones, and
I'm butthurt about them.
Yeah, those are just a real blow to the belly. Mm-hmm. But we move past them.
You gotta.
Lauren has a harder time than I do. I just don't care.
I'll sit up at night and I'll be like, how do you say drowning? Yeah. Oh my God.
Okay. You guys, moving on. We're going to start with our debriefing today. Shall I start? Shall I go first?
Yes, go first. What do you got?
Okay. You guys know that I always bring the depressing stories.
Yes. Only one of mine's depressing. So
two of the 3. So I'm going to start off strong, and I'm going to start with something maybe more uplifting.
Okay. And then we'll finish on a downer. Great.
2 downers. I think that's appropriate.
Yeah.
So mine is Super Bowl specific, you guys. The NFL lawsuit. I don't know if anybody is aware of this or do people care, but I am somewhat fascinated by it because of the allegations that are being brought against the NFL.
I haven't heard anything about this.
Okay, so there is a coach, Bryant, who is African-American. So he has sued the NFL and 3 teams, the Dolphins, Broncos, and Giants, alleging discrimination regarding the interview process with the Denver Broncos and the New York Giants, and his firing last month from Miami.
Was he a player?
No, he was a coach.
Oh, sorry, you said that.
So there's a 58-page lawsuit that was filed in the Manhattan Federal Court. We always love the Manhattan Federal Court.
Oh, we love a federal court in New York.
On Tuesday, and seeks a class action status. So the NFL. So this is the part that's really interesting. So the NFL had only one Black head coach entering this hiring cycle. 6 of the first 9 vacancies this year went to white men. 2 of the final 3 openings went to diverse candidates. One for the Texans, the Dolphins, and then another, I think. Oh, no. Sorry. The Texans and the Dolphins. But the interesting tidbit about that is those hires came after Flores had filed his lawsuit.
Oh, perhaps so maybe a remedial measure.
Yeah, potentially motivated by the lawsuit. And so there's a really significant history. So there was an NFL coach that was originally hired African-American in 1920. And it wasn't until like 60 years later that the next African-American coach was hired.
Wait, I don't really understand how that can be possible. Cause like, okay, you know that I'm not a sports girl, but I do know that like, I would say every time I watch sports, like more than half of the field is made up of African-American men. So why would there be less African-American male or any gender coaches? Like, I don't get that. It doesn't look like the team. Like, so who are these guys?
Exactly. And I think that's, so a lot of the talk around and chatter around this lawsuit is like, it's basically been a long time coming, but nobody really has had the balls to do it. And I guess I was reading a bunch of articles like ESPN, Vox, NFL, and a lot of, I guess, the, minority coaches or interim coaches and even players, they were reached out for comment, and a lot of them don't want to participate in it out of fear of retaliation.
That's fucking horrible.
But so it sounds like, this is your
good story.
Yeah.
I'm scared.
I thought it was positive because like we're seeking change, like
okay. I was
looking the silver lining. We're finally, having, I guess, this conversation. And so Flores said that we need change. The hiring practices in the National Football League, the numbers speak for themselves. I've been in this league 18 years, and the National Football League is an example to the world. It really is. People follow the lead of the NFL. They just do. That's how powerful this league is. There's an opportunity here. There really is. And so something else I found really interesting is the fact, so he worked for the Dolphins. And I know, I don't know how boring this is for other people, but just like the circumstances of it fascinated me. So he worked for the Dolphins, and the Dolphins, I guess, had a significant losing career, like tenure, right?
Yeah.
They hired Brian Flores, and he starts being really successful and winning. Allegedly, in this lawsuit, Brian Flores alleges, I think that the team owner, or the general manager, or the owner of the team, came to him and said, hey, sorry, you're too successful and you're winning too much that it's impacting our draft pick.
Wow.
And so I insinuating basically that he was fired because it was going against like their
losing streak.
And so what then? Did they think that this Brian Flores guy was going to be a shitty coach and was going to tank their organization? In reality, he lifted it back up and was being successful. And so he was fired.
Stand to see it.
Yeah. So really interesting. That's all I have. But I thought just to put it on people's radar, like, I think it's a really cool lawsuit that's out there right now.
Yeah.
And involving a major, major, major organization. And so.
Yeah, this is like this could really shape like some crazy, like, employment law and discrimination practices.
And of course, the people that are, I guess, critical of this lawsuit have said, people have been given these opportunities. People of my minority races have been given these opportunities, and they have not been successful, I guess, in their coaching abilities. And so it has led to people being fired, or they're not qualified enough, And there have been people.
Sorry.
Oh, no, I was just going to say there have been people, I think John Elway came out because he was a quarterback, I think, for the Broncos, said that the allegations set forth in the lawsuit are completely unfounded and just bullshit.
The thing that I hate about like the sentence that you said regarding the other side of this NFL side is like, okay, so you hired what'd you say, like 3 minority coaches, and they just so happen to be not so good at their job. So now no other minority can do the job. Like, I don't know. It just feels weird. But I don't like sports. So
it will be interesting to see though, the answer that's filed in response to the complaint, kind of see the discovery process to see, like, are these allegations founded? Like, is this true, or what is the NFL's response, I guess? So.
I did see, speaking of the NFL, I did see on, I think it was Instagram, there's like a girl who's the coach now, or an assistant coach or something.
She's at the Giant. Wait,
is she baseball?
No, I can't remember. She's here in San Francisco though.
Oh, okay.
I can't remember if she plays, or if she's a coach for the Giants, or if she's a coach for the 49ers.
Oh, are those
one's football, one's baseball?
Oh, okay. Well, whatever it is that she's the coach of, like, go for her, go her. But I saw a bunch of people like talking mad shit that she was inappropriately dressed because she was wearing pink pants. And they said she looked unprofessional. And I was like, you should see my closet.
And you should see some of the shit.
Unprofessional.
You should see some of the shit those players wear. Okay.
Exactly. And it's like, she was fine. So fuck off. Okay.
Power.
Should I go?
Yeah.
Okay. So mine is my unorthodox life star, Julia Hart.
I know nothing about this.
You never watched My Unorthodox Life?
I don't think so.
Okay. So, let me read the headline. My Unorthodox Life, Julia Hart files a restraining order against her husband. Okay. So one of our followers requested this. Amy requested this. Yeah. Okay. So the show My Unorthodox Life follows this woman who grew up in a very it's conservative and
wait, is this the Netflix show?
Yeah. She was like extremely conservatively Jewish, and then she like sort of shed that religious part of her, got remarried, and her kids are sort of like changing from covering themselves to not. And there's like a older daughter who like wants to wear pants or skirts or something. It's like a whole thing. And it's like showing that they're coming out of this.
Hopefully she's not going to wear pink pants.
Hopefully she doesn't wear pink pants. Well, this woman, her name's Julia. She was married. Okay. She was married to this guy named Silvo. And he found for only 2 years. So he founded this company called Fastweb, which I guess is some like, I don't know, internet thing that, and you know, internet things just make a bunch of money. And then Freedom Holding, and Freedom Holding is a holding company that has control over this group called Elite World Group. It's like a brand management kind of group, or like a personality talent management group. So this group, Elite World Group, manages Nespresso coffee.
Wow.
Yeah. Tiffany & Co., Tory Burch, Condé Nast, Prada, Fendi, Gucci, Prada. Basic bitches wear that shit, so I don't even bother. Okay, so
who needs a halftime show? You got
exactly. You got us. So that company exists, right? They start this elite management company together. She's the co-owner, CEO, and then she also was the creative director of La Perla. You've heard this. It's extremely expensive lingerie, like agent provocateur, but yeah, I know. I'm like not even wearing a bra. My underwear is like 10 years old, but yeah,
I'm wearing my 5 for $35 underwear from Victoria's Secret.
Jeez, they raised the fucking prices. Inflation. Okay, so she was the La Perla director. She also designed Kendall Jenner's Met Gala dress when, I don't know if you remember, it was basically her naked body and like black sparkly chainmail was her dress. It was beautiful.
But Kendall Jenner can never wear anything and it be inappropriate, or
I mean, her body is just a hanger. Sickening. That's it. Yeah. Sick. Okay. So this is what she's known for, right? There's this whole big money, big brand.
She's rich.
She's in it. Her and her husband are in the mix. Well, on February 9th, she filed to end their marriage. She's like, fuck it, I'm done. And everyone's like, what? Because like, if you watch the show, like, to me, it didn't seem like they were heading down that route. Like, to me. So on February 9th, she files to end the marriage, and she also petitioned for and was granted a restraining order against this guy, Silvo, who's her husband. So Julia claims that her future ex-husband berated her, called her venomous snake, monster, and liar in the presence of her children and third parties, and like threatened to kill her if she went to the press about like the abuse she suffered from him. She like details all this alleged abuse, name calling, I don't remember if there was any hitting. I don't have it written down, but it seems very verbal and financially abusive. Her oldest daughter said that her oldest daughter walked into the house and found her mom lying on the bathroom floor, curled up, naked, sobbing. And the daughter was like, I want to call the police. But the mom was like, don't call the police. So apparently, after she had filed for divorce, this guy, Silvo, removed her from the business, the elite management business, and cut off all her credit cards and all her financial ties. Well, yeah. So when Julia,
I'm sorry, really quickly, was this a one-hit wonder? Was this a one-season show?
No, they're filming it now. They're filming season 2.
Oh my God, they're filming.
Yeah, exactly. Like so this is like gonna be good.
So do we think it's motivated by a plot line, or do we think it's genuine?
That's a good question. I have to lean on the side of genuine just because there's 2 restraining orders filed. Yeah, but I never actually thought about that. But anyway, so apparently before Julia found out that she was going to be fired, and she kind of just figured, she allegedly made like big withdrawals from the business account. And so he's suing her for breach of contract because apparently they had a contract together that neither one of them would withdraw over $250,000 per withdrawal.
Just sitting there in the bank.
It's like, chilling. What? So the husband says that this is just another day in the life of an aspiring reality TV star. He claims that there's no temporary restraining order. He claims he's never been served with one. He has no recollection or information on one. And
I mean, well, that's easy to prove.
Right. It's like, go look at the docket.
Yeah, go look at the court docket. So do we have information if this has been proved, if this is valid, if the TRO
there are valid? There are 2 restraining orders.
Okay.
So
husband's living in a little bit of delusion.
I think they're both living in a little bit of delusion, but yes, for sure he is. And for sure she is.
So why, if you were so successful and you make so much money and you're connected to these major brands, would you go about publicizing your divorce in such a messy manner?
I don't know. And the other thing is, like, you know how you kind of ask, like, is this like for ratings, or is this to like boost the show up? Like, now that you say that, and I'm like actually thinking of it, and like he said the thing about the aspiring TV star, I'm like, well, why did you respond to all the media outlets then? Like, if you're accusing her of being like a star chaser, like, you talk to Page 6 too, so are you. And also, if I were like Tory Burch or like Chanel or Nespresso, I'd be like, bye.
Exactly. Well, in this day and age, like with cancel culture, and you do anything that is kind of taboo, or well, I shouldn't say taboo, but anything that is distasteful, you are quick to be just cut off. And this is not great. Not great. Okay, fun.
Great. So yeah, stick your little ear to the ground for this one, because I think it's gonna get interesting. We got some big money involved. Apparently he's a billionaire.
Well, that's always fun.
Yeah, I love billions.
Well, maybe we'll do a full episode on that.
Yeah, I think we should, because it's really, there's a lot going on here.
Yeah,
I had no idea.
That sounds multi-layered.
Oh, so multi-layered.
Okay, moving on. Wah, wah.
Wah, wah.
We're talking about Jerry from Cheer, everyone.
Oh,
I know. And I know I picked the word.
It's not a Sunday till we talk about some CP, huh?
I always pick like the most depressing, but it's so important for people to be
amazed. It is.
For people to be up to date on what's going on, and just, you know, we got to represent our victims. We got to.
Well, especially when it's like everybody loved Jerry. Like Jerry was like the number one guy in the group.
Okay, before we get into an update on his criminal case, did you watch Cheer season 2?
So I started to watch it, and then I was just like, I'm not in this headspace. It's like watching Tiger King 2. I just wasn't into it. So
I loved it. And I loved the Trinity Valley High, or not high school, Trinity, I think Valley, which was the other school that competed against them.
So, there's only 2 schools that compete. It's like, okay, why? It's like watching you race against like your brother. You know what I mean? It's like, ooh, good job. I don't know. It's weird.
It is kind of weird, but it's in no way can you use that to discount how athletic and how good they are.
That is so true.
So
it's just odd fact that it ends in you're doing all that for naught.
I mean, it's almost at this point, it's like, why not just compete against yourselves? Like,
why not just go be, here I am talking shit. There's my Peloton behind me. I've been on once this year. But it's just like, go be a Dallas Cowgirl cheerleader,
Oh, no. Those are 2 very different things. I love the competitive cheer. They are so athletic.
I mean, these people are throwing people in the air and catching them on one foot. Like that and ice skating to me are crazy. Like when I see ice skaters. Yeah. But at least gymnastics, when you land on a flat foot. Ice skaters land on a blade. Imagine doing a flip and landing on a butter knife on ice. Yeah, it's insane.
Well, and then also if you're a partner
and you have to catch them.
You have to catch 2 butter knives.
Oh my God.
Flying butter knives that are just
while you're on your butter knives.
Well, let's not even say butter knives, scalpels, razor blades.
Truly razor blades. Truly. And people are looking at, okay. Anyway, go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry.
So you guys, update with Jerry, our favorite Matt talker. He entered a plea agreement with prosecutors, pled guilty to 2 counts. He was facing, I think, 7 counts, but only pled to 2 of them. It involved charges that he persuaded a 17-year-old to send him sexually explicit photos for money, traveled to Florida for the purpose of engaging in illicit sexual contact with a 15-year-old. The plea agreement stipulates that after sentencing of the 2 counts, prosecutors would ask for the remaining charges to be dropped. Something I found interesting was the prosecutor's statement regarding one of the charges.
Okay.
So she said that one of the counts, so he pled guilty for receiving and attempting to receive child pornography in the summer of 2020. He repeatedly requested that a 17-year-old send him sexually explicit videos and photographs in exchange for money.
Yeah, $2,000.
No, $3,000.
Oh, shit.
And then the other count with the one where he traveled to Florida. So he was going to travel from Texas to Florida.
Yeah.
With the intent of engaging in illegal sexual conduct with a 15-year-old. So he directed the teenagers to meet him in public bathroom in Orlando, Florida, where he sexually assaulted them.
In a fucking bathroom.
Yeah. So Jerry's going to be sentenced on June 28th, and the sentencing guidelines recommend 50 years in prison.
For each count, right?
I don't know. But and then Judge Shah, which is ironic, said that he may decide differently with regarding the sentencing guidelines. And I will say there was a statement from Jerry's attorney.
Yeah, I have it up. I thought it was bullshit.
Are you looking at the New York Times article? That's why I didn't include it. There was reference to prior sexual abuse that he was a victim to. And, the attorney came out and said, look, we're not really trying not to make excuses, but he is in therapy and he's going to spend the rest of his life making amends for what he has done. And I am a firm believer that pedophilia is
unrehabable.
You cannot be rehabilitated.
That's what I think too.
And so although 50 years in prison sounds like a lot, I really hope that the judge does not defer from the sentencing guidelines and sticks with 50 years, because Jerry's only, I would assume, in his 20s.
He'll only be like 75.
And
that's young.
On it.
Yeah.
You can work on it and go to therapy, but those urges will always be there. And
I don't know. Can I read his attorney's statement? Because I thought it was BS. I know. I'm sorry. But his attorney said that Jerry is a 22-year-old, so that's his age, young man whose story can only be understood through the lens of extreme poverty, sexual abuse, and neglect in his childhood. that pisses me the fuck off because we all know people who have grown up under extreme poverty, who have been sexually abused, who have been neglected. And I don't see any of those people acting this way.
Yeah.
You know? So then it says the criminal conduct also took place in the context of a competitive cheer community where inappropriately sexualizing and sexually abusing children was far too common and often overlooked. Were those victims part of the cheer community?
Yes. So the two boys that were interviewed in cheer, I think they were the two that really initiated this whole investigation. They were competitive cheerleaders.
Okay, so I feel like we need to bring in some oversight thing. Like, remember that freaky Dr. Nassif from the...
Yeah, I was going to say it's the same thing with Dr. Nassif. Yeah. And this actually, it was interesting because if you watched Athlete A on Netflix, they talk about kind of the Larry Nassar situation. And one of the attorneys that represented some of the victims in the Larry Nassar lawsuit, she was on the cheer documentary representing those two boys.
Oh, good.
Because she was a victim of Larry Nassar's sexual assault, I think when she was at the University of Michigan.
Jeez,
or Michigan Louise. State. And she even said, she's like, when I was in law school, I would still go to him for therapy. And I didn't realize what he was doing was...
Oh my God.
Yeah. So anyways.
You know, here's the deal. Here's the moral of this story. Keep your fucking hands to yourself.
Yeah.
Keep it to yourself. If you want to touch a wiener, touch your own fucking wiener.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what else to say. Or go get a dildo from the shop. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, there are so many other options.
Yeah.
Sorry, Jerry.
Yeah, it's like... Ugh, it's
just so distasteful.
We gotta protect her. We gotta protect the kids. We gotta protect the children. We have to protect
them at all costs. Like, and I'm sorry, but it's not an excuse. Like, if you were sexually assaulted as a kid, and there are many, many, many people who have been, it doesn't give you permission to go on and do it again. It doesn't give you an out. I'm sick and fucking tired of people like making it like not an excuse, but almost a justification. Like, well, they were abused as a child. And it's like, fuck off.
I'm reading a book right now called The Courage to Be Disliked.
Oh,
I think. And it's the psychology book. And they talk about, it's kind of like this idea of nature versus nurture, but how people oftentimes depend on the cause of a situation, meaning like being sexually abused as a child as a validation of their future behavior.
Yeah, exactly.
And how they respond and how they always rely on that situation as an excuse for their conduct.
Yeah, I don't think that's right.
Yeah. Anyways. Wah, wah.
Wah, wah. So now that I'm all heated, should I move on?
Yeah.
Okay. Cardi B awarded $1.25 million in lawsuit against Tasha K, a YouTuber who allegedly made Cardi B extremely suicidal.
Okay, I am so glad you brought this up.
Okay, yay.
This is a really, really fascinating story because this girl went in on Cardi B, right?
So I didn't watch the video, but from what I heard or like read about it, Tasha like...
Oh, you didn't watch the original video. Okay.
Right. I didn't watch the one where she was like spouting her mouth, but apparently she was like, oh, Cardi B's a prostitute, like it accused her of prostitution, said she had herpes, like all kinds of shit, was like alleging drug use and all this stuff. And it like, of course, made Cardi B, who's a new mom, you know, I think she just got married recently, but you know, all that to like put that on her as like crimes of moral turpitudes and, you know, loathsome diseases. Ooh. Can you tell I'm studying for the bar? Like it affected Cardi allegedly so bad that she had to go to the doctors and everything because she was so fucking depressed and she couldn't even have sex with her husband.
Oh,
I know. So she was awarded $1 million in general damages and $250K in medical.
Wow.
So,
and I know there was kind of people were like, why is Cardi B going after this YouTube star? Like, what is going on?
She has a million followers. Like, it's not like this YouTube star is just like you and me, two girlies with mics, you know?
Yeah. And also it's not as though this YouTube star just said an off the cuff statement. It was continued harassment, negative, defamatory statements that were like a regular part, I think, of her narrative about Cardi B. Like, it was
the thing that I find the most.
Why? Like, why?
What's the point? I don't understand why people do things like that. What did she gain? She just lost so much money. She lost clickbait. I guess you're right.
I guess I don't understand that. Like, why make up a story about somebody?
People want content, I guess, but it's like, it's not going to help anyone when your content is like you purposefully tearing people down. Like, listen, we're just reading the news here on this episode. These people are straight up doing it first, you know? Yeah. So here's the deal that I thought was very interesting. For defamation, it's, so hard for a public figure to win a defamation case.
And I think we talked about that when we did the Brandi Glanville, Joanna Kupra. We said that it is like 99% of the time celebrities do not win defamation cases.
Right. Like, because it's like you're a public figure, you've thrusted your life into the public, like you're putting yourself out there for commentary, you're thrusting yourself into society. So that's why courts are reticent to like give public figures like some damages and stuff. So the fact that two public figures went to court and the bigger public figure won the defamation case, like as the plaintiff, I think is crazy.
Yeah, but I think this is a situation where the defendant didn't just make one statement.
Oh, yeah.
It was repetitive. It remained on the platform. I don't think she ever took it down. Like, it was an ongoing defamatory dialogue that was happening. Whereas like when we were looking at Joanna Kupra, Brandi Glanville, I'm trying to think of other things, or there's a libel case with Amber Heard and Johnny Depp, where it's one sentence, like wife beater or stinky vagina.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
It's not this like
tirade,
personal attack and tirade on a human. So
yeah,
I bet she's lived and learned and won't be doing that again.
I wonder if she'll pay it.
She has to.
Well, if she has the money, I mean, where are you going to get 1.25?
They'll garnish her wages.
She's a YouTuber.
She has 1 million. You said she has 1 million subscribers.
Yeah, but how do you garnish like ad revenue?
I mean, if you have 1 million subscribers, you're making a lot of money on YouTube.
Huh? We should put this episode on YouTube. Okay. Do you have your next one?
Okay. I do have my next one. It's a little depressing, but I actually find it to be fascinating. So,
So story of your life.
Yeah. Kodak Black's crew allegedly involved in a shooting outside a LA club this weekend ahead of the Super Bowl 56.
Holy shit. Like last night?
Yes. And so
breaking news.
Breaking news. Hold on. Let me actually find this tweet really quickly.
Wow. Do you know? I mean, I'm assuming this happened in LA.
It did.
Okay.
And so really quickly, there was a tweet that Ice-T had put out.
Oh my God.
The rapper that said
Coco's husband.
Yeah, said Super Bowl weekend. Not a threat, just a warning. Young rappers coming to LA for the Super Bowl weekend. LA has over 50,000 active gang members. Make sure you play it safe. It's wild, wild west out here. And the fact that like those statements even need to be made is
crazy.
Is nuts. And I found that interesting because he tweeted that. Let me find the exact timestamp. He tweeted that February 12th at 9:28 a.m. And then literally,
what's today, the 13th?
Literally that night, this shooting happened.
You know, it's weird because it's like, what comes first, the chicken or the egg? Like, are people alleging that Ice-T had a
No.
Okay, because I was gonna say it feels like just a warning.
No, I made that connection just because I thought it was interesting because one of my somebody I went to law school with posted that on her Instagram page, the Ice-T quote, and then I saw this news article break. And so what was going on is Justin Bieber and Hailey Bieber were at the night. This is the night. It's called the Nice Guy Club. Okay. I guess it was like riddled with celebrities that night. Mm-hmm. And Justin Bieber was performing songs. Justin Bieber was performing Peaches. And the guest list was packed with Leonardo DiCaprio, Tobey Maguire, Khloe Kardashian, Kendall Jenner.
Oh, wow.
And then it says in the wee hours of Saturday morning, the No Flockin', which I guess is Kodak Black's hit song.
No to Flockin'? What is it?
No Flockin'.
Oh, that's kind of funny.
Rapper was outside on the street with fellow performers Gunna and Lil Baby. They were smiling and talking. And
is Lil Baby and Da Baby different?
I don't know. All I know is one of them is homophobic.
Oh, okay.
They were smiling and talking, and then a fight broke out. Kodak took a swing at someone, and then you heard gunshots. 10 shots were fired.
Oh my God.
3 people were hit. And I invite you to go to the Page 6 article because they actually have photos of the gunshot victims.
Are they dead?
No. Thankfully, nobody died.
Phew.
Everyone, they were like kind of, if this could even make sense, like superficial gunshot wounds, like non-life threatening.
Superficial gunshot wounds. Okay.
I sound like a defense attorney.
Listen, these are superficial gunshot wounds.
Not life threatening. Like one guy is shot in the trapezoid up here on his upper left shoulder.
Grazed. He's been grazed.
I mean, the bullet definitely went through.
But barely. Okay.
The bullet went through, but it looks like he's going to survive. And then my favorite is one man was shot in the butt.
Oh, and my grandpa was shot in the butt.
He was laying, holding his buttocks.
Oh my God.
Yeah. I mean, of course we want
It's not funny to laugh at people who are getting shot, but it is funny that it happened in the butt because it reminds me of that show we're watching on HBO, The Gemstones. When
you guys, the Righteous Gemstones.
You got to watch it.
So good.
So good.
Okay. So then it said that the fight was believed to have started when someone in Kodak Black's entourage, after others jumped in, shots were fired, and then all hell broke loose. And a fascinating tidbit. I don't know if you know this, but Kodak Black has a history of being involved with guns.
Okay.
So he was arrested. He's been arrested multiple times over the years on drug and weapons charges. And in March 2020, he pleaded guilty to charges of firearms possession and served time in the federal penitentiary. And last June, President Trump commuted his conviction.
Oh, that's the guy. That's Kodak Black.
He's got the crazy
funny hair.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And earlier this year, he pled guilty to charges of first-degree assault and battery and was sentenced to 18 months of probation.
This is the one who it was all those memes where it was like him ratting people out or whatever.
I think so. Yeah. Like a little bit of an arc. God.
Okay. So I'm like not super into like the music scene. So that's why I don't know any of these people except for Justin Bieber. But holy shit.
So wild. Sounds like, I mean, obviously we don't know who was the one who shot the gun. We will find out soon.
Do we know what the fight was even about?
No, probably something stupid, some ego thing, probably.
Well, poor taste joke, but he brought his fist to a gunfight.
Yeah. I mean, he may have actually brought the guns and the fists, but we don't know.
Oh, because we just don't know.
Yeah. TBD on that. But I mean, may we hope and pray that no more violence happens, I guess, on Super Bowl weekend. Very unlikely because it is Los Angeles. And I
cannot believe that.
And I would just invite you to look back at that 18 months probation sentence for battery and assault. Like, what are we doing here, people?
Why are we hitting people? Okay, so we can just go ahead and talk about it then. Like, if you're on probation, there are things you have to not do. And one of the things you have to not do is continue breaking the law.
And you would be surprised at how many people are on probation. They can't not commit the
it's like some people just can't help themselves. Like, look at Jen Shah. I think part of her like bail release was no excessive drinking. LOL.
Okay, we need to find that document because I need to know if that's true. Because wow, when they showed up to Zion and how drunk she was after that whole fight with Lisa Barlow on the bus.
Oh, I know. You know her. Okay, we'll get into that in a whole nother episode. But
wait, really quickly, can I just have a comment to make, and I'll probably bring it up again when we recap the Salt Lake City ladies on Patreon. Remember when we're like, thank God we're almost to the finale.
Yeah.
Here we are, another week getting another delay because of the fucking Super
because of
Bowl.
the heterosexual agenda.
Like, I'm ready for Salt Lake City to be over.
You know, I started it over again. I just started it over again because I was like, I need to remember where we came from because I've been so lost in the weeds, but we'll do a whole episode on that.
Yeah. We'll do a full recap. But anyways, okay. What's your last story?
Okay. So my last one is about, I'm sorry to do this, Vanessa Bryant's legal battle. I know,
Lauren,
but
we're only at I think we're approaching the 1 year anniversary or the 2 year
anniversary.
Lauren, wow.
I'm sorry.
You thought my stories were dark.
I know, but it's going to get even worse because I have a lot of bullet points on this one.
Okay.
So Vanessa Bryant's legal battle. We'll start with the mom, right? Because we know that upon RIP Kobe's death, Vanessa's mom decided to go lawsuit crazy and be a greedy money grabber.
Yeah.
So Vanessa's mom sues Vanessa in 2020, alleging that Vanessa forced mom to leave her Irvine home and took away the car that Kobe was paying for, and that Kobe had promised this mother-in-law that he would take care of her forever. So she sues Vanessa saying, you know, your husband said XYZ and you didn't do it. Okay. So mom's looking gift horse in the mouth. They settle that website. Sorry.
I'm like, just have a stroke.
I just had a total stroke. They settled that lawsuit.
Watch out. We're going to get a negative review. You're mispronouncing words again.
She doesn't. It's not pronounced website. It's pronounced lawsuit. So they settle that lawsuit. Well, mommy again is like, wow, now you didn't pay me for nanny bills or assistant bills. So she brings another lawsuit alleging that Vanessa never paid her for being a nanny to these girls that they have. Okay. Settles out of court. Well, while this lawsuit's all happening, these two lawsuits, we know that Vanessa's dealing with the death of her husband and her daughter and a bunch of her friends, you know? So in 2020, Vanessa filed a wrongful death suit against Island Express Helicopters, who were the company who operated the helicopter. She alleged that the pilot made a bunch of errors before takeoff, including taking off in the fog.
Which I think we know is true.
We know that's true. Yes, we do know that that's true. And that the National Transportation Safety Board released the report saying that it was true and that the pilot did it probably just under pressure to make these bad decisions. Well, apparently when this whole thing was going down and Vanessa was at home, she had just taken her kid to SAT practice or ACT test practice, normal day in the life. And she gets the call that there's an emergency and something bad's happened. So she calls a helicopter to fly her out to LA, thinking I'll just go fly out to LA. We fly helicopters all the time. But they wouldn't fly her. The helicopter company was like, no, it's too foggy. So the manager of the Lakers drove her to the Malibu police station. Okay. It took over an hour and 45 minutes to get from Newport Beach to Malibu, which makes sense. This whole car ride, Vanessa has no information other than there's been an accident. Okay. So she's talking to law enforcement and she's asking questions. No one's giving her any answers. Vanessa repeatedly asks, are they okay? No one's answering. Finally, they get to the Malibu Police Department, and Vanessa alleges that they put her in a small room that was like closet size. I guess when you're coming from
so
a
wait,
mansion.
I'm sorry. Is this lawsuit against the police department?
Yes.
Okay.
So
I'm just trying to figure out where this is going.
It's just a bunch of lawsuits.
Okay.
So she's in this room, and it's like got a small couch and a couple toys.
Just like a normal police department.
Just a normal police department. Okay. And she keeps asking, are they okay? Are they okay? Still no information. So she's totally crossed county lines, got into a room. Finally, a sheriff, a pastor, and a publicist walk into the room, which sounds like a bad joke, but it's just the truth. And Vanessa was like, I don't need a publicist in here. Get the fuck out. And that's when she learned that nobody survived, that there was a helicopter crash and no one survived. So It's over 2 hours away. So she told the sheriff at that moment, can you go secure the crash site? Because her biggest fear is that photos would get out of like dead bodies. Yeah. So the sheriff was like, absolutely, let me go secure it. So he secures the perimeter, secures the overhead so that drones can't fly over. But of course, photos of Kobe and Gianna's bodies were taken. A couple of firefighters and sheriff's department deputies snapped photos on their phones and sent them to people who reposted them. One trainee who was in charge of crowd control for the crash site was caught on a bar's surveillance camera showing the bartender pictures of the Kobe's body.
People are so stupid.
Just 2 days after the crash. And apparently when the sheriff learned that these photos existed, he just told his deputies to delete them and no further discipline would happen if everyone deleted it. So the sheriff had the officers who allegedly had these photos on their phones to come down to the station, admit that they took the pictures, and then delete the pictures. Okay. So then Vanessa is like suing them for PTSD and like emotional distress because she's like, all these pictures got out and all these people saw them, and I'm traumatized. And
but she didn't see it.
So that's what they're saying. So they're saying, well, you didn't see it, like XYZ, but yeah, I don't know.
But then Vanessa's attorney saying the fact that it was published and it was redistributed is the fact that it's,
and that it's like she had already established, like, listen, this is traumatizing, and you're taking pictures of my husband's body and showing people like.
No, I mean, yeah, it's a violation of their internal policies at the police department, but people that are deceased do not have an expectation of privacy.
Here's the deal. I find it incredibly despicable that the sheriff was only like, delete the picture. Okay.
I just because I worked in that whole area and I work with police department and other agencies, they most likely have an internal investigation that's active and ongoing. Nobody can access those records. The personnel records are exempt from disclosure. But
they're on their phone. Like,
no, I understand that, but
you
I'm saying
upload it to your computer.
No, I understand that they took the photos and stuff, but what I'm saying is we aren't privy to the information. There's probably an internal investigation that's going on as a result of these officers taking these photographs. That's what I'm saying. Like, we as the public aren't aware of what's going on at the police department. I guarantee they're being investigated and they're probably going to get in trouble for taking those photographs.
No, because the sheriff said, like, if they deleted it, that's it.
But
the sheriff doesn't deny deleting, taking, or sharing the photos.
Yeah, but okay, so he's not.
And he never admitted he never said there's an internal investigation. He just said, we're not pursuing it any further. They deleted the pictures.
I highly doubt that, but.
Well, either way.
And also about the whole her getting notified at the police department, that's not abnormal at all, especially when you're in the local or you're in the vicinity of where the accident happened. They do not tell you that somebody died over the phone. that is common practice with police departments. Like you have to either the police officers have to show up at the house and tell you, or you have to wait for somebody to come to the police department because of you don't want somebody to speed down the freeway, get in a car accident. You don't want somebody to hurt themselves, hurt other people. Like you want to make sure that it's a contained and protected environment that somebody is receiving this information.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's just like distasteful.
What is the photographs?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, yeah.
Like it just gives me a pit in my stomach. And I'm just like, what kind of freak does that? I don't know.
I mean,
like
redistributing the photographs or showing people is very odd.
Like at what? Why are you in a bar and being like, "Oh, here's Kobe Bryant's dead body"? It's like,
well,
ew.
Yeah,
I don't know. Like this isn't the vibe, dude. We're having a beer.
Yeah, I find it very odd, and this lawsuit I think is ongoing, and going to be interesting to see what happens. But yeah, you don't have a privacy right when you're dead.
So that's interesting. So she's kind of sort of being like emotional distress.
I could understand if those photographs were taken by the sheriff's deputies or the fire department, sent to TMZ or sent to some because TMZ wouldn't post that, but sent to
they did, remember?
No, they didn't post the dead bodies.
They posted the paper, they lay the paper over people's bodies blowing in the wind.
Yeah, that's different. But I mean, a picture of a dead body, like him.
Yeah, well, the body was under the blanket. I don't know. Yeah, here's the deal.
I don't know. I don't think that that's offensive. We see photographs all the time of people laying on the ground with a sheet over them after they've been shot or after they've been killed. That is not abnormal. If we are going to be disseminating photographs of a body of Gianna, who's a minor, that's distasteful and it's inappropriate. And there's journalistic standards, right? Where you're not supposed to do that. It's just, but I feel like there would have to be some type of publication that then would have triggered this PTSD or this intentional infliction of emotional distress. There would have to be some other, I don't know. But I also, I'm not totally, I haven't read the complaint. But
so the thing about emotional distress is like I can't just claim that I'm distressed because somebody I know went through trauma. Like I have to have a physical manifestation of issues. Like because of the trauma, I literally developed ulcers and now I cannot keep food down. Like things like that.
And that's hard to decipher when you're dealing and grieving of such a loss. Like, how do you know that her symptoms, whatever physical symptoms she's manifested as a result of Kobe and Gianna's death, how are you able to decipher which one is then attributed to this release of these photographs?
So it's very interesting because that's a good point. And usually because this is an emotional distress claim, like they were like, fine, take a psych eval. If you're, well, she said no. So instead of the psych eval, she's giving over all her therapy records. So I guess they'll go through that and see what she talked about and what she didn't talk about. But just so everybody is clear, whenever you're having an emotional distress claim, if you didn't physically with your own two eyes witness the thing happening and the person, Cash, you would have to like kill my dog in front of me for me to have emotional distress. Yeah. Like I can't hear about it.
Yes. I remember
you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, and then claim that I'm upset. So the fact that, and this is terrible. I mean, it's sad. Like everyone's really sad for Vanessa. Nobody wants these photos out. It's distasteful. It gives a pit. Unfortunately, there are just like things in the law that are like, you can't just make claims like that.
Yeah. So really just like I know this is very different, but I'm speaking in hypotheticals.
Okay. Here. Hypothetically.
I'm going to speak very generally because this is about a work issue where we had somebody who was asking for copies and videos related to their son passing away. Right.
Oh.
And I did some research on it, and really, a decedent does not have a privacy interest. However, there could be this issue of like a substantive due process right or violation of that if you do not notify the family that this information will soon then be disclosed, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so the best thing to do is like you always notify family members, hey, this is what we're going to do. And that's obviously in the law enforcement world, but I don't know in journalistic world, I'm assuming they probably do the same thing of like, hey, and also like when somebody dies, like people don't mention the name before the family's notified, right?
Right.
Like, so I feel like there's just this like level of integrity that used to exist that maybe no longer does, because people are so interested in
breaking the news
and like getting that photo that they can then sell and make millions of dollars. And
like everyone knows that TMZ broke that news. Like that's the reason why I unfollowed them. You know what I mean? Like
disappointing that from what you're saying, it sounds like at least that the sheriff hasn't investigated. If that's true, that's really disappointing. I would hope that they would be investigating it, because that's a violation of, I would assume, their internal policy.
Right. That's the other thing is like, bruh.
And just like basic human decency. Yeah.
And if we're going to be sharing evidence, like, how about we test the drugs? Okay. Let's do something fun.
Well, and I mean, talk about criminal behavior. Woo!
Oh, that is criminal behavior. So yeah, that's my story. It's a controversial one, but I think it led to a good discussion.
Dark vibes today. You know, we can never, it should be like called the dark room, like debriefing the dark room.
It should be like all the sad shit. And it's like, okay, I talk all the time about how much I hate reading the news and watching the news because it gives me anxiety. And then I'm like, let's spend over an hour talking about 6 traumatic stories.
Oh, that's so funny. Okay, well, that's it for me. That's it for Lauren. Now we're gonna move on. Do you have a criminal behavior?
Do I ever? Yes, I do. Let me get my notes. So my criminal behavior is since I've moved here to Minnesota, I have yet to find a good old sandwich, just the sandwich.
Oh,
that's hard for me because like I used to live my life by the Ike's
Chiba.
Thanksgiving and Chiba Hut. Like I'm a sandwich girly. So finally, yesterday, I find this sandwich place that actually looks similar to like an Ike's or a good sandwich,
Yeah.
And I send it to my boyfriend. I'm like, we're ordering this for lunch.
Yeah.
Go. Okay, what do you want? And I said, okay, I want a turkey sandwich with everything except for because it came with Swiss cheese. I said sub it for provolone, because like nobody wants that.
We have the same sub order.
Yeah. So excited. It takes like an hour to get there. I'm just foaming at the mouth for this turkey provolone juicy sandwich. I just want it to drip down my chin and down my neck. I open it and it is 2 pieces of bread, a piece of turkey, and a melted piece of provolone. That's it.
Like Fry Fest.
It literally was Fire Fest. That's exactly what it was. My criminal behavior is but not even cash, not even a mustard, not even.
Do you not use Yelp?
Oil. Oh, of course I use Yelp.
And what do their photographs look like on
all Yelp? The other photographs look fucking good. Gorge. That's why I picked it. Cause it's like, I've been on the hunt. So yeah, dry ass fucking sandwich. And I'm going to call it out.
That's offensive.
Potbelly sandwiches. Go fuck yourself.
Whoa. She dropped the name.
I dropped the name. Put some fucking mayo on it.
Whoa.
Or at least an oil and vinegar.
I mean, or just like all the ingredients would be nice.
Right. It's like a tomato would have been nice. Just anything other than like dry ass bread, turkey, and a piece of melted cheese. Like fuck off. I'd rather eat at like prison. At least they get Jello,
Oh, that's funny.
What's yours?
Okay, you guys, brace yourselves.
Oh God.
So in my wedding dress shopping, like going on websites, looking at rehearsal dresses, looking at dresses to wear for like engagement photos, I came across and had a revelation.
What?
Why in the world are there two separate sections for clothes and then extended sizes?
It's so fucked up.
Why? Why is, first of all, I'm going to call out a website, Reformation.
Reformation. Did you hear your name?
So they have beautiful dresses and their sizes are 0 to 12. And if most of our listeners are women. When you wear a dress, your dress size is usually 2 sizes bigger than your pant size.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And I don't know if that's just me because I'm a big tittied woman, but generally dresses it's not the same size.
Well, let's just call it what it is. There's no such thing as a size. Everyone's just willy-nilly and throwing letters on it.
So the regular sizes are 0 to 12. And then I remember seeing on their Instagram that they like pride themselves on being like size inclusive. I was like, where are all these other sizes at?
Yeah.
I had to go to a separate sidebar to hit extended sizes. Like, so why do you have to have extended sizes? Why can't you just offer sizes 0 to 26?
No, it's
why do you have to break it down?
I don't get every clothing store. The one I hate when it's like you're going through Nasty Gal does this too. And I love Nasty Gal, but
yes. And I saw it on Nasty Gal too.
I hate when you're like looking at clothes and then you have to go to the whole other shop plus and curve. And it's like, okay, yeah, let me just bring my ass to this special side of the website where you put the big clothes. You know what I mean? And it's like, and they're all ugly. We're not the same.
Even when you're walking through Target, it's like they have the regular size and then plus size. I'm like, why are we breaking them apart?
Why are we breaking
about body shaming?
That is body shaming.
Why is this not all inclusive? It's not like you have some weird disease and you have to be separated from the other people.
Well, and like
it's the same clothes.
This isn't like novel complaints. Everyone I know complains about this. So why are we still doing it? Like if everyone I know complains about this, who's fitting in the normal clothes? If all my friends don't, who wears them?
And you know who's going to spearhead this? I want to message Remy Bader, who is our queen in the plus size world, who is just breaking down the barriers of people stigmatizing women that have normal bodies, who look like the average American. She's doing an amazing job. And I seriously want to message her and be like, why is this happening? Like, why are we segregating regular sizes in quotes with extended sizes? Like you're offering the same dress.
Right. It's like
literally
put it in size order.
On Reformation's website, it's the same dress. But you
have
have to go to an extended size tab to open it.
You know, I think it's because they just really want you to know that they will cater to your fat ass.
But the thing is, the sad part is it's not like our bodies were morbidly obese over here.
Well, normal right. Bodies. And even normal if it bodies. Is, even if I am morbidly obese, say I'm just on a TLC show. Okay. Does that mean that I don't have the right to shop at fucking Target next to Anna DiArmas?
There probably is. Like, at what point do you stop, you know? But like the fact that a size 14 dress is considered an extended size.
I know that's ridiculous.
Like, that's all I'm looking for. I'm looking for a size 14 dress to fit these big old tits.
Yeah. Let's cancel sizes.
Canceled.
Anyways,
that's my criminal behavior, you guys. That's it.
So good.
Do you have anything?
I just want to say, everybody go follow us on Patreon. We have so many different levels. You can be $1 supporter, a $20 supporter. If you want to give us more than $20, I'll make you your whole tier just for you with whatever you want. Also, we haven't I don't think said this, but Cash and I have another store called the Morally Corrupt Shop. Go head over there. You can get tons of we have mouse pads with Tom's house was broken into on it. We have some Taylor Swift merch, all kinds of stuff. So head over to the Morally Corrupt Shop on Etsy and Patreon, and go follow us on Instagram and give us 5 stars. And once you're done with all that, you can take a nap.
Bye, you guys. Thank you for listening. We'll see you next week.
Okay, bye.
Bye.